The legacy media is practically screaming and demeaning anyone who dares do what Bill Maher did and normalize President Trump. Today, we'll show you what they are shouting at the top of their rooftops as they lose their clout and go about falling even further into obscurity. Hello, folks. We are so happy you've come our way. Welcome to the channel that is coming to you from somewhere sunny, USA. The studio is powered, of course, by you. You are the gigawatts, and you are what keep hot the radioactive hamsters as they run through the wheel, sending this all across the YouTubes. As we get ready to dive in, click the like button, and here we go. This out of The Guardian. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is an effort now to stop the Bill Maherification of Hollywood. They do not want celebrities to be kind in any way to Orange Man Bad. This is coming from the UK. It is The Guardian. And this one says Donald Trump wants celebrities to kiss the ring.
Oh, good for Guardian.
Who will be next? Emma Brox is the author here. It says after the apparent defanging of the once critical talk show host, can the president get more stars on side? Some nuts will be tougher to crack than others. In other words, if you go and you have dinner with, if you go and you humanize, if you go and you have a conversation with the man that is supposed to be evil incarnate, they will tell you, do not come back to our club. And they want to make sure that nobody else joins you in being cordial. It says, if President Trump invited you to the White House, would you go? I would. I would have gone too if Biden had invited me to the White House. Sure. Why not? I can talk to all kinds of people I agree and disagree with on a variety of things.
You just got to make sure that you shampoo your hair real good before you go to the Biden White House.
Well, and also shave your legs. This is the question U.S. hacks and other media personalities have been asking themselves since the inauguration. An American version of that self-flattering British perennial. When Buckingham Palace calls, will you be buying a fascinator to accept the OBE? In both cases, no matter how plucky anti-establishment an individual may have been to that point, the answer is often resounding, you bet. Oh, wait. I've been found out. First, the rationalizations. I'm human and they're human. I'll go. That's my rationalization. Skip the paragraph. The question is, what happens next? And it's a tricky one, isn't it? No. 1 minute, you're hurtling towards Washington on the Acela Express train, fully intending to speak truth to power. The next, you're tripped on the rug and somehow become Albert Speer. It isn't known what Bill Maher, the comedian talk show host and until recently fierce critic of Trump, thought he was up to last month when he accepted an invitation to dine with the president. But after the event, he greeted us to a love letter to a man he found to be full of good humor, generous, without animus, as well as gracious and measured. Now, we could go on and read all of this, folks, but we don't have to. The bottom line, the entire thing is there to say to other celebrities, to other commentators, analysts, pundits, etc., do not humanize this man. Do not have conversations with this man. Do not accept invitations from this man. Do not participate with, do not coordinate with, do not work with in any way this man, or else The Guardian will come after you. Or else Larry David in the New York Times will come after you. It is not allowed. Paul, this is the ultimate form of othering. Frankly, it reeks of desperation. Will it stop celebrities who, by the way, when we talk about this situation of celebrities starting to question things, before I go to you, Paul, let me play this real quick. We did this in another video. This is Rainn Wilson challenging an MSNBC host, Rainn Wilson, who played Dwight on The Office. This is what they're trying to stop.
Trust. This is where I would push back when I see this kind of insight and passion being directed at the current administration, and the lack of this kind of insight and passion being directed at the previous administration, where, again, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about left-leaning news media organizations were kind of like, la, 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 everything's fine. Look, the environment's, look, the economy's great, la, 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 immigration's not that much of a problem. And being Cleopatra, queen of denial.
All right, Paul, they don't want this to happen anymore. No Bill Mahers, no Rainn Wilsons. Got to stop it. Got to stop it. Will it work?
I think the trend is this will steamroll, I think, even harder and faster once Trump is gone, because he's so toxic to the left that they won't broach it. Again, you got to remember that on the left, especially, you've got to believe every bit of the catechism. You can't just go, oh, Trump did this one thing that was okay. No, you're gone. Like,
you're out.
You have to keep You have to keep the entire catechism or you're out. And that's one of my biggest complaints, which I talked about already, where I said I try not to, I try to listen to what it is that the person is saying. And in the case of Trump, Maher, as a comedian, and as any creative person, should actually take the opportunity to go see it, to just not just learn, but just absorb and understand the situation, that they might in some way use that learning in a future character. To be so obtuse and childish to say, oh, I'm not going to go there. Well, it means you're not much of an actor, because this is an opportunity. An actor has to take experiences from so many different places to construct characters. Well, they now lost an opportunity that they're never going to get again, because it's a very interesting situation. I'm not going to say good or bad, but to me, it's just plain childish. Now, Maher has overdone, and I believe overreacted a little bit in terms of talking with some of his guests on his show lately, repeating just how much he pushed back against Trump. And yeah, he did say now that I find more offensive than his original video on his visit to Trump. But he's overdoing now how pointed he was, and how he gave him the gears and asked him questions that needed to be asked. I went, okay, thanks, Bill. You've now mentioned that 8 times. I don't need to hear
Paul, let me ask you this cynically. So Maher made this transition to not being utterly anti-Trump to be more of a centrist moderate on it. He's not espousing everything Trump is doing. He's just saying he's not evil incarnate. Okay. The cynic in me says that whatever the Guardian and the New York Times might say about him,
right,
this is existential to him, because late night TV is dying. Yep. It's down something like 50% in the last 5 years. It's dropping this year. Some of the shows are down to 4 days a week. There are shows being canceled and not replaced. So he's looking at this, I think, and saying, I don't want to be Colbert. Well, I don't want to be Kimmel. I don't want my contract to be the last of me.
Yeah. Well, I think that is a wise approach. But at the core, he's doing what any comedian should be doing, and that is getting material anywhere that it's been made available. That's what a good comedian does. I had a huge argument with several of my stand-up friends during the first Trump administration. And I said, going on stage and talking to brethren who believe in the, in the jokes that you're saying, where all you're doing is repeating something dumb that Trump did, and your punchline is F Trump, and everyone howls with laughter for way too hard, way too long. I said, a really good comedian would go into the lion's den, make up a whole routine positive about Trump, and getting those people to laugh at it. That's what a true stand-up comedian does, not just repeat the things that that the audience wants to hear them say. That to me is offensive as a comedy writer.
They would take risks.
Take risks. That's exactly.
Because that's how you get the greatest triumphs.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. Taking risks is the most fun, which is why I loved Chappelle's joke on SNL during the first Trump admin, where he said, I would normally be against Trump, but I'm a millionaire and he's saving me tons of money with the tax cut. And the audience didn't know what to do.
So funny.
But that was a great joke, right? I'm no longer one of you. I'm filthy rich. What can I say? Trump is saving me bags of cash.
Jerry, one of the things that we've watched is just years ago when Gina Carano basically came out and said, hey, maybe we shouldn't treat each other in a dehumanizing way. That was grounds to absolutely despise, malign, and slime her from Disney.
Correct.
Yes.
We've seen a shift now. Do you think it's safe in Hollywood relatively to at least question the narrative, or for young actors who are looking for work? Rainn Wilson, he's not going to be in the Office reboot. But for a young actor who's looking for opportunities, do you think that they could even push back at all, or is it still too dangerous to do so?
I think it would have been less dangerous without what's happening in the Middle East. The Middle East has kind of changed things, delayed people from maybe neutralizing their view on things. Now, they maybe are circumspect with their response to how they feel about Trump, but now they have to be they have to take sides with what's happening in the Middle East. So I don't really have a specific answer for that. I think the final answer is being delayed right now.
Carrie, what are your thoughts?
I think it's still an orthodoxy for the most part. However, there has been a bit of a loosening of the reins, just slightly. Yes, because of this cultural victory. This whole thing we've talked about, but everyone's doing in all these different ways, whether it's entertainment commentary or gaming commentary, or the people like James Lindsay who are doing more academic commentary. It doesn't matter. We're all have a little small part in this culture war that's been happening. And I think we had a huge win. We saw the fruits of that politically with the Trump win. And so I do think that created a little bit of breathing room. And if people were smart, here's the thing about celebrities. It's like, just get over yourself. Just say what you think. Just be honest. For anyone, just be honest. What's the worst that could happen? You're going to get unfriended and cast out? Who cares? You stood up for your values. And maybe there'll be a Streisand effect. You get canceled. Maybe you're a celebrity. You say what you really think. You get canceled. And there's a Streisand effect. Like with Gina Carano. People came out to support her. I think it was, in the end, God used that for good for her, so.
It's true. It takes a lot of courage to do that, though. That's the thing, because there's such a hegemony, and you aren't necessarily invited to the parties if you speak out. You're not necessarily on the casting sheets if you speak out, and so that's why a lot of people don't. But I think you're right. It's the struggle for relevancy, and to be truly relevant and be a cultural commentator on any level, you have to acknowledge at least that the 45th and now 47th president of the United States during his election did win the popular vote, did have a decisive victory, and you can see it in the polling that there is a shift happening. So in order to stay relevant, at least acknowledging it would be probably beneficial somewhat to a degree.
Hollywood historically has never liked the flyover states.
Yep.
Yeah. But why do you want to go to those parties anyway? It's like 70-year-olds like Bill Maher getting stoned, like Peter Pan.
Well, I wouldn't want to go myself, but if you're in that industry, going to the parties, then you get to talk to the producers. You can talk to.
Still, come on. I like Bill Maher. I do. But at the end of the day, my husband watched the Charlie Kirk interview. He told me it's good. I haven't seen it yet. He said it's good. He said, but at the end of the day, we're in this stage of life now where we look at it. We're like, come on, Bill Maher. Come on, man. He's like, I love life. I don't need an afterlife. I love life here. I'm like, wow, you're really checking out of life here.
Did you see the Charlie Kirk interview?
That's the one my husband was telling me about.
It's really good.
That's what he said. Yeah, I'm going to watch it.
And way better than what Rogan did with Murray. Even though I think Murray underperformed. I think he tripped himself up. I'll be completely honest, even as a Murray fan. But the Charlie Kirk Maher thing was really, really good. I enjoyed that a lot. It was very much a conversation of equals, and Kirk, give him credit. I mean, he does not shy away with admitting things that maybe he was wrong about.
There you go. Well, we hope the legacy media is ready to do that at some point, because
they won't do that. You'll never see that interview on the legacy media. That was and this is, I mean, part of the problem with the legacy media too is that for the most part we get sound bites. The interviews are always sound bites. This is one of the things that's killed them.
Yeah, absolutely, and they structure them around those sound bites. The whole thing is made for the sound bite. That's the whole game.
You can't. The interviews on 60 Minutes have been crap for a long time.
Yeah, I agree, and also he hasn't had a good album since Continuum.
And put another one in the can, folks. A video of excellence has been birthed into existence, and you were there to witness it. Thank you for participating. We hope you had a good time. Folks, it's a great time anytime we get to share time with you, and we mean it. The only thing additional we ask, on the way out the door, consider clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, click it and stick it to those pesky algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. And oh, by the way, if you would be so kind, perhaps share this out on your favorite social media platforms. Folks, we've got all kinds of content coming your way. If you are interested in going even beyond all of that, well, there's a Pro Store, and you can always find those items directly below the video you're watching. The Pro Store, it's a cool place to check out for items that, well, definitely Disney and the rest are not going to sell you, but we're happy to do so. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Hey, Floral, guess what?
You put a fork in Pro's microwave again.
No, that was yesterday.
I don't know that what.
Oh, I've decided to give up on torturing Jonas.
What? Why? In the same way the cat sleeps like 20 hours a day, that was like your purpose.
I know, but I've decided there's bigger fish to fry.
Okay.
Like Lorne. I mean, think about it. Everybody loves him. He's a fan favorite, and frankly, he has almost no weaknesses I can find. Except that he's really smart.
So, you want to annoy the one panelist without a single flaw, because he's smart.
Yeah, like that winged statue at that fancy Paris museum thingy. I want to break the one thing that everyone loves most.
Right. So, kind of like the opposite of Rachel Zegler.
Yeah, exactly. And I get to see her all the time at family reunions anyway.
You get to see Rachel Zegler?
Yeah. I mean, she's a total troll. Lives under a bridge, harasses billy goats, the whole 9 yards.
It all makes sense now.
Speaking of which, maybe she'll get me... Okay, call her on my... I'm gonna call her and see if she'll be in the next Indiana Jones. She should be the next Indiana Jones. That'll totally destroy Lord. He loves Indiana Jones.
Oh, that's cruel.
Hey, Rach. I've got a cool idea for you that involves a whip and snakes.
I love that description. It's perfect.
I know, right? Weird, as we always say.